drizzle outside, it looks like England.
My name is Andrew Holmes. I'm 23 years old, and I'm from Abbigail, Texas.
Michigan's in the review now. Keep your hands where I can see 'em. You took the words right out my mouth when you knew that I would need 'em. Oh, what am I supposed to do now without you?
I first started playing guitar when I was 18. I was a senior in high school. It was my last semester of high school, and I was dating a girl at the time that I wanted to write a song for, so I needed an outlet to do that. So I went to a old family friend of ours, and his name was Bobby Deegan. He's a real hippie guy, pretty cool guy. He showed me a couple chords, and from that I just learned a couple songs and really liked it. I don't know. I wanted to have an instrument to be able to put lyrics to. Lyrics were really important to me, and they still are. I listened to a lot of Iron and Wine back in the day, and he was one of my biggest inspirations for lyricism. And he's got a lot of like poetic, really cool ways of phrasing things, and then like metaphors that describe scenarios, but not in a very clear way, more in a vague way that's applicable to anybody listening to the song. So that was really, really important to me. But the reason I picked up a guitar was because of first wanting to have an outlet for lyricism. So.
I've been thinking long and hard, my darling, about just what we are and what we are. But I'm lost in your love, I can't get enough. Who knows what the future holds? I don't know.
Weirdly, I had no intention to be a musician at all, but it was, I just kind of fell into it. Like a lot of things, you know, in life, you just kind of fall into them. So I guess just the love of it kept pushing me to do more and more with it. And then I got my first gig at Mezzanines. It wasn't really a gig, it was just like my first time to perform in front of people. And really enjoyed it, and then I just started trying to play as many places as I could, and eventually people started paying me for it, and it turned into one thing after another, and it just, then now that's all I do.
In the house with A. Holmes. I don't like that name.
It's still kind of weird to me, like when people come up to me and are like, oh, you're Andrew Holmes, which doesn't happen often at all, but when it does, like, I'm usually just really honored by it, like, yeah, I am, and how do you know? Like, you know, because I just, like, when I'm playing shows or whatever, it's kind of just me up there. I feel like me against the world a little bit, just kind of singing my own songs. And, you know, a lot of times I'm background music, so it's nice to feel recognized when people come up and say something. Like, that's really nice. But it's definitely not expected at all, and I guess that's what makes it more special. So this is the crib. I'm upstairs. Okay, so I'm in the process of making my next album. So these are just kind of, this whole area is dedicated to building my team and all the people who are going to be working with me and helping me with the album and all that goes into that. So like the graphic design, marketing, business, producers, musicians, different studio options that I might use, ways of contacting new musicians, the songs that are going to be on there, funds, how to raise money for it and get sponsorships and all that stuff. So that's all this over here. I've got a nice little setup here. I've been pretty blessed with it. So.
Said, hey, good looking. Hey, what you got cooking? How about cooking something up with me? Cook it up, Bill. I'm free and ready.
Abilene's different than a lot of places. And I don't know if it's because I'm biased, because I've grown up here. But I've gotten to play quite a few places, different cities and states, and Abilene's just got like a totally different vibe. Like everything is really upbeat and happy here. The people all are kind of creatively working towards something, and everyone here is really unique, I feel like. And there's kind of a mutual respect for people kind of doing their own thing because they're unique in their own way.
You guys give a big hand to my good friend Jonathan Hester. Every time he plays, magic happens. We got one more with the duo here.
So me and John, I don't really. He's more of my brother than just a friend. He and I are just real close. Quite often though, we'll go out and just go support other musicians, and we go to concerts out of town a lot, and we write together a lot and do a lot of practicing. Most everything that we do is pretty music oriented though. And that's really cool because it's like having an accountability partner where you're both kind of feeding off of each other's creativity and saying like, well, I like this and I don't like this, and you've got that honesty and that trust that says that it's like what I'm saying to you is not something that I'm saying to cut you down at all. It's because I think that you can do better, or I think that you'll know that I'm being honest whenever I say that this is really awesome. So it's really cool to have that kind of honesty in a friendship, but then also in musicianship, because honesty is one of the best gifts you can give a musician. But I finally hit this high note. The high note hit me like an hour and a half just before. So I was like screaming at it.
No, I met Andrew and he was already kind of doing the playing around Abilene thing, and I was like, well, I want to do that. I want to get into doing that. I only play at open mic nights, and so he kind of helped me get my foot in the door, and we were this duo of individual artists, and it confused the hell out of everybody, but we've made it work. It certainly made me modulate my bellowing, so to speak. Instead of screaming like I used to, I've been able to just really say what I need to say, and he's helped me do that as a fantastic lyricist, as in what we do and how far it's actually taken us. We've had to hold each other accountable in a lot of different ways, and we've definitely made each other better men for it, and gone through a lot of hard times where we've screamed at each other, and a lot of great times where we've gotten really happy and sad and cried together and drank about that much. But
Definitely like an old married couple sometimes.
yeah,
That definitely shows.
there's been times where I've rubbed his belly when he was sick.
Yeah, that was an interesting time.
That was a funny moment.
that was kind of the call to go to Nashville, was to try to pursue something bigger than home, I guess. I don't know. There was a lot of things. Again, it was one of those things I just kind of fell into. It felt right to do. And I just got it in my head where I was like, this is what I need to be doing. So these are photos from Nashville. I got to meet Foy Vance. He's one of my favorite artists. That was really cool. He's a cool guy. And this is a picture of my favorite spot to hike and camp. This one's at Fall Creek Falls. And it was I think it was 270 feet or something like that, that the waterfall was. And this little thing right here, that's me. And I even drew a little map to it. But yeah, that was really cool. Went camping there quite often. You know, I went through a lot of hardship there, but it was the whole time I knew that I was it was an era of my life I was supposed to live out. And I don't know. It just was kind of a gut thing, to be honest with you. I didn't know anybody going up there, so that was kind of nerve-wracking. But it was something also I guess I needed to prove to myself that I could do, and go be an artist that lives and competes in a bigger pond, I guess, if that makes any sense. A lot of people when I was up there in Nashville, I remember asking them, what's your goal with music? And most of their answers was I'd just love to live off of music. And it hit me one day that I was I've been living off of music for 4 years now in a small town. And that is everyone's goal here. They moved to Nashville to do it, but they're only raising the stakes and making it a lot more difficult on themselves. So I moved back home, and I'm living the dream, and it's a whole lot more fun now. And I've had a whole lot more success with living in Abilene than I ever did in Nashville, because I'm able to travel and use the connections I made in Nashville while being able to afford a place and live off of doing the things I love to do here. So that's been a huge benefit of living in Abilene. It took me moving away and coming back to realize how special it was. But people like to refer to it as a black hole, but it's really not. It's pretty cool. They just are in denial about loving it.
Decoration.